right, so this is a build-around submission for Bolas' Citadel. So the build-around submission was play Dryad of Ilysian Grove along with Dread Presence here. So this turns everything into swamps, and then Dread Presence triggers off of swamps, along with Bolas' Citadel, which lets us play cards off the top of our deck. The idea here kind of is that with Dryad and Wayward Swordtooth and Presence and Citadel, we can play through a bunch of cards off the top of our deck and get a bunch of triggers. I've also got a Scapeshift in here, so Dryad plus Dread Presence plus Scapeshift can let us get a bunch of Dread Presence triggers for potentially lethal. Past that, we've just got some ramp to get to our more expensive spells more quickly. I've got Agonizing Remorse here as a scotch of interaction in the main deck, and then I've got 4 Bonds of Flourishing as a way to kind of find some of our key cards more often. When I quit my last job, I told them point blank I was aware of the income disparity in our team. It was part of why I was leaving. Were you high or were you low compared to your team, Mike? Any chance we want a Bajuka Bog with Scapeshift? No, I don't think so. Like, having lands that aren't swamps also has a real cost without this. There's a chance that we might want some spot removal in the main deck. Like, maybe Maelstrom Pulse is better than Remorse, but I like Remorse for curve purposes, so I'm going to give this a try to start and see how it goes. Once worked at Red Robin. I was talking to a guy who worked there 2 months when I had worked there for a year. He made more than me. I went to my manager's office and immediately got a raise. Yep. Yes, it's illegal to tell your employees they're not allowed to do that, but it doesn't mean they don't still discourage it. It's in the manager's best interest to discourage it. When I worked as a systems analyst before I became a stay-at-home dad and then doing this, some of the automation work I did gave me access to people's salary information. So when I would get pulled into stupid meetings and there was stuff that didn't really require me to be there, I'd sit there and calculate how many dollars per hour the meeting was costing the company that I worked for. And when you sit down and break down how many dollars per hour some of these companies spend on really stupid meetings, it's just like, good Lord. WotC has suspended the qualifying period for the PT series. Good. Okay, so we'll Dread Presence, and then if we're lucky, this will draw another land. Sick. Whew. Are we gonna do the thing right off the bat here, chat? I used to spend my meetings tallying how many times my boss would cut off women versus men and how many times they would drop meaningless buzzwords. The meaningless buzzwords ratio is not particularly favorable. They're dead, right? I play this, I deal them 2, I sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands. That totals 12. No, I can only deal 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They're too high. So I'm going to start with Citadel then, and we'll go from there. I have one more land drop, but I think there's a chance we get stuck. Yeah, so I'm gonna play this and draw a card. Enters tapped. Bond of Flourishing. Ah, Scapeshift was untapped. That's so sad. Ooh, Arboreal Grazer. Now we'll put this into play, and I'm out of land drop, so we'll draw this land. Like, it's a good turn. Decent turn. Above average turn. Listen, I don't know if this deck is good, but it's certainly great, chat, okay? That's all you need to know. I don't know if it's good, but it's definitely great. They draw a sweeper. They draw a time wipe. I'm glad I have both of these in my hand. I like when we get to do the thing game one. It means, like, even if we just, like, sputter out and die from here on out, like, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I think you're right, BJ. I could have tried to push for that, but I don't think I really needed to. Oh no, not my Citadel. How will I ever replay that? Oh, I can just Scapeshift, right? Alright, fine. I forgot I had the Scapeshift. All these big, beautiful lands. All these big, beautiful lands, chat. Should just love to see it. Huge tracts of land. Just huge tracts. CTG Medic, thank you for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. How many interactive spells do I want? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know that Duress is actually that nice. So, while my opponent's archetype has a high density of... While my opponent's archetype has a number of high impact spells I would like to take with Duress, they don't have a high density of spells that Duress hits. So Duress is incredibly likely to miss when I cast it. I did not, gun 3. I don't know if I want Legions in. I don't know how interactive I need to be here. Can I just, like, linear them again? I'm gonna try and linear them again. If I feel like I can't race them in the second game. Sweet. All right, so I think I'm actually just gonna Bond of Flourishing here now. Grab some lands. Perfect. So let's do this, and then this, and then this, and then pass. So let's scribe before we draw here. It's looking for a Citadel, basically. Alright. Unknown Stuber, thanks for the 25 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And then, like, I can kill them even if they clear the board next turn, right? I go Dread Presence, play Overgrown Tomb untapped to deal 2. And, like, Scapeshift them. Yeah, they're dead, right? Is this deck gasoline? I think this deck might be gasoline. God, this format is so sweet. Look at that. They were ranked number 6 on the ladder too, chat. Love it. Love it when a good meme pops off on the first time through, huh? I don't know. Vanafear was pretty good too. Maybe we'll just tag both historic decks as favorites. Yeah, Field of the Dead seems fine in this format, which is great. No, Historic, this is the thing you need to understand. Historic is currently great because all developing formats are basically always great. The reason why Historic is likely to stay great is because it is a format that is going to get new cards every 6 weeks at a minimum. It is a format that is guaranteed to change regularly. And that's so very, very good for the format. Wow, this deck might be short on lands. Someone who said earlier that 20, 25 lands seems light, I think you might be right. There's a good chance you're correct. Man, that's super unfortunate. And playing Black-White Zombies and having a blast, yep. Like, the people I actually ranted about this earlier, because it's something someone else brought up earlier. Formats like Pioneer, God, they drew Loxodon, that's so unfortunate. Because now a bunch of these things have more than 2 toughness. That really, if that was a land, we would have been okay here, but it's not, so we're dead. Pioneer didn't get bad because it was a competitive format. Pioneer got bad because Theros printed a whole bunch of obnoxious combos into it, and they didn't ban anything out of those obnoxious combos. So, like, if you actually understand, like, what happened to the format, you'll know that it's not like this format was competitive and that's why it was bad. Pioneer would have probably remained good outside of being a developing format if they had just managed it. Do I cut all my Citadels against the aggro deck? I feel like I might cut all my Citadels. Another reason why this format is more likely to be better than Pioneer as well is we already saw them unban cards in this format. It isn't like cards just went off to the ban list to die, never to be seen again. And that I think is a very important distinction between how this format looks like it's going to be managed and other formats have been in Magic historically speaking. We definitely should have kept rotations more often. I'm gonna add a swamp to this deck after we're done. Is there a likelihood they're being a little bit... I don't care. That distinction doesn't matter. I don't care why they're managing their ban list better. Because it doesn't... as a player, that just is irrelevant. Their end result is they're managing it better, and that's what I care about. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year of support, Kindleby. Hope you're staying safe out there in this crazy world. Stay inside. You're being called to sit on your couch. You can do it, chat. I believe in you, chat. The world needs you at this very moment to make the divot on your couch more divity. You're capable. You're capable. I promise you are. If you are a medical professional out there in the least joking manner possible, thank you for everything that you are doing in this incredibly scary time. We'd be truly, truly screwed without all of you. Alright, I'm gonna land my deck. Deep in the divot. I come for the game I play, I stay for the coherent political commentary. Thanks for the 10 months, HG Lock. Maybe I don't need all of these. How many lands is too many lands? Is 27 too many? I feel like after playing the last deck we played a little bit of, that like 27 is like not unreasonable. I feel like 27's not unreasonable. Ooh, we could add Psycho lands. That's an A++ suggestion. Love it. Love it. That's tough, Gaffer. So we have 13 actual swamps in our deck, which is a number that's relevant for when we're Scapeshifting with just Dread Presence out. The Trophy Pulse split seems unnecessary. Can you explain why? I believe in you. You can explain like an adult. Yeah, I think 27 with 2 cyclers seems fine. Yikes. Light 'em up. They're on fire. Oh ho 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 do 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 do. So it's a pretty straightforward aggro sideboard plan. We just cut a bunch of our top ends here and bring in a bunch of spot removal. Seems good. Just going to go and say every deck will have 33 lands. I mean, the Yarok deck literally has 31 lands. Cause it's a sneaper, keeper, grazer gonna get ya. Put my land into play and we scry one. Do 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 do. I think I keep that, right? Like, I really want a 4th land, but I'm pretty sure this is just like an all Doomblades on deck matchup. So the county I live in is closing all non-essential businesses by the end of the week, but the school I go to is still open for campus. Wild. Do I just like hold up which figure here? I think I'm just Maelstrom Pulsing and disfiguring something this turn is my plan. And then we'll like hold the Dread Presence, but we have a swamp to follow it up. Liberty University is still open and had a huge conference today. Shame on them. Is it crazy to sack this and kill this? I feel like it's not. Yeah, that joke's in pretty poor taste, Daddy-O. Let's not. You definitely can. Sword Slice. I'll get bumped up at the end of the stream today. Unsurprised Liberty's ignoring this. It's a religious, conservative, evangelical school. I mean, you could argue that there's something biblical about a global pandemic. You'd almost think they'd be paying attention to it more. Cleave ho! Daniel Ranger, thank you for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Okay. Man Goody, thank you for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think we're dead. Feeling pretty dead. They get to like suit up Frostodon with the cleave here. Dire WCC, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. it would be funny how many people think the coronavirus is a hoax if them believing it was a hoax wasn't going to be responsible for lots of innocent people dying. Because that's the reality in which we live. People like Donald Trump and the people that believe him are going to end up with lots of innocent folks getting killed because of the things that they say and spread. Yep, noted. Breath of the Vaults. I'll get bumped at the end today. A college president plans to be on campus every day to show strength. I worry that because they're 70, but some people just don't get it. They're showing a word that begins with S by being on campus every day at 70. But I don't know that strength is the word that I would use to describe what they're showing. Now, I don't think I'd use smart either. Is that word selection as in natural? Yeah, to a degree. I don't think I saw a message pop up, Juice Monster, but you saw the icon next to your name. If you refresh sometimes, it'll let you send one through. At any rate, thanks for keeping me around. Welcome back. So... am I supposed to do this before they can Nissa me? I think I am. Sick. Then I'm just not going to play my land this turn so I can draw a card with it next turn. Hey, testy fella, thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Blasted Storm, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Do I ever collect data on the backgrounds of my subscribers? No, not really. That's not relevant for what I do here. It's not relevant for most things. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I just like cast this as like a draw 4? Or like draw 5? I think that's the plan, right? So I unfortunately have 3 of my Overgrown Tombs in play already, but I think I can go down to 2 green sources with this one in my hand. Yeah, you don't sack the lands until it resolves. I think I'm just gonna draw 5 here and guess back up. The governor of Kansas canceled all school for the rest of the year, but said that they were canceled school for the rest of the year, but said they would allow 10 people per class. My dad is the principal of school and he's pulling his hair. I can't even imagine how you would divvy that up, right? That seems like a wild idea. Yeah, a lot of schools are having bus drivers that are able to drive around and deliver food still, which is good. I don't know exactly what their deck is doing. Like, they had the Great Henge, but I don't know what they're really doing past that. I feel like I'd rather have my removal spells than my discard spells, but maybe like a couple of Remorses are better than Swordtooth in case they have counter spells post board. They might have counter spells post board since we're a Scapeshift deck. Also, yeah, if schools are canceled but you're allowing 9 kids per class, that's not what canceled means. Words, how do they work? Well, I mean, there's a strong indicator that if you don't understand what words mean or how they work, that you could become president of the United States. Yeah, definitely Wild Growth Watcher. And always bump build arounds. Big if true, right? He does have the bigliest, bestiest words. Oh, you know what? I should prioritize playing non-swamps out of my hand. So that way I have swamps if I draw Dread Presence. I was in the car during the call to Superintendent. Technically, I knew the cancellation before I was supposed to. I've not heard a Superintendent curse that much. Yeah. Yeah, the reality is we're probably going to need to change how we do things for a better part of the next year or more. I probably want to chump block this turn so I have the most life when I play the Citadel out. Oh, by the way, I haven't zoomed in on these sleeves yet. There's no mouse over animation. That's a little sad. They're sparkly, though. I'm going to destroy this Great Henge in response here so that way they don't draw a card. Yes, they are going to need to figure out how to get people working under quarantine conditions in a lot of industries. You are not wrong. This is all I got. Your move, Yugi boy. There might be something to this Citadel card, chat. And then they're dead, right? I just get to Scapeshift them. And then every land deals 4 there. Where's my save targets option? Always yield save targets when, Magic Arena. Please, please, please. Please, Magic Arena, I need it. I need it. Build your own Valakut, yep. Should I get takeout from my favorite pizza place or maximize social distancing? Stop going to restaurants. Stop getting takeout. If you're worried about those businesses being able to stay open through this, buy gift cards and contact your local and state representatives to encourage them to push through legislation that's going to help those types of small businesses in times like this. Taking extra risks is not how we get this mitigated and get back to some semblance of normal as soon as possible. I know it sucks, but reality sucks right now. Sorry. Sure, chat, for people that are still entertaining delivery, you really need to understand, one, some of these places aren't going to have people not come into work if they're sick, and two, people can have this and spread it even if they don't have any symptoms. So there could be people preparing your food for delivery that don't have a fever and don't have a cough that will get you sick. That is the reality you need to understand. Yeah, I do have a couple of the Grimoire deck boxes. You have one of their 300 card ones here. With, I forget what the logos are called. This is one of their. And then I have one of their bigger 800 card cube ones. Down over here behind me that Jake was playing with. Noted Thomas. That'll get posted at the end of the stream. These are intended to house like an entire cube or something like that. Rather large. I think they hold 800 double sleeved cards. Make it big. Hashtag always be shilling. We should probably have dropped the Grazer to jump. Nah, it could be useful later. All right, I'm gonna thin a bunch of non-swamps out of my deck here. Embercleave and Questing Beast. All right, we'll take Embercleave. With the swamp on top of my deck, I'm inclined to just not trade here, so I think I just do this. So... I think I'm drawing 2 cards here. Oh yeah, I should have put Grazer in front of the Trampler. And then I'm going to kill this 1/1. I should be 2 life higher, which could be really relevant. Oh no, I didn't shock in the land. Oh, I didn't shock in the land. What a tilt. Wow, we're going to die because I messed up, huh? I don't know if I'm supposed to shock in the land there. Wow, nice Ian. Very fortunate. Now, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to take it. Our last 2 cards are just questing beast, right? So we're good here. Yeah, we know the last 2 cards are questing beast. This deck's sweet. Triggers. Removal spells in... Gosh, I don't even know if I want to trim Citadel here. It was like really reasonable there. There's no known way that food transmits COVID-19 and not everybody is able to cook right now. Okay, so there is known ways of transmission. It sticks to paper and plastic containers, right? That your food's going into. So I didn't say you're going to get sick from the actual food itself, but my understanding is it transmits on paper and cardboard and plastic. That's correct, right? It lives on surfaces for at least a couple of days is my understanding. The exact time varies depending on what the surface is. And again, the big thing that makes this thing spread so quickly is the fact that people are asymptomatic that can get other people sick. Currently, there is no evidence of food or food packaging being associated with the trend. Why is the plastic or cardboard on your food different than the plastic or cardboard food or the surface that can transmit differently? Like, why is that? That's not, like, it's the same, chat. I would like, again, I choose my words carefully, and my words are what they are very clearly for a reason. I did not say that the actual food is what's contaminated. It's the surfaces and the packages that they're bringing to you. Yeah, you should be conscious of stuff you get at the supermarket too. When Christy and I make a food run, we're gonna wipe down all the packages of stuff before we bring it into the house. Sure, they're taking extra precautions. Everybody's taking extra precautions, but it's an unneeded risk just for the sake of takeout. You can live without takeout, I promise you. Yes, you need to go get groceries still. Like, that's something that's going to be happening. It does not transfer on cardboard. Does it transfer on paper? It's only plastic or metal then? You're saying cardboard is 24 hours and steel and plastic is 3 days. So, do I just YOLO presents here? I think I just YOLO presents here. Correct. Everything has some risk. It's all about choosing which risk you think is appropriate and which risk you think isn't. That's what you need to calculate in your day-to-day life. It's just like, you know, when you go to work, right? You get hit by a car when you go to work, but it's like correct to go to work. This is a lot more extreme than that, obviously. I think I'm blocking here so I just have the most life and then hoping Citadel does something next turn. Dead on board. I think I might want a couple of different removal spells. Rather than these disfigures, I might want cast downs in my sideboard for like these spellbreaker matchups. The important thing is that read into the detail. Everything I read so far, like who says, to our current knowledge, current hypothesis, based on early results. Yes. Yep. Yep, that's also important to know. There's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding everything that we do know. I think this is okay. I've got a little bit of life gain, a little bit of selection, a piece of interaction here. I think I'm supposed to bottom this and just prioritize getting to my land drops here. Well, we're gonna get to our land drops. Is there an ambush in the future for this Dryad? Questerson here would mean they hit us for 7, which is still a pretty big chunk. But it would let us untap with our Dryad, which would be nice. A few epidemiologists flat out refuse to speak to such details in interviews, claiming that it will take months of hard work to determine anything with a shred of certainty. Yeah, I believe that. So we'll kill Pelt Collector. We'll play Paradise Druid. So far in the games we've been winning, we've been pretty fortunate to basically always have the 3/3, which has not been the case here. This is unfortunate. If I do this and take 8, I think this is the play. Yeah, Dread Presence, that's his name. Don't wear it out. Oh no, chat. I think there's a small danger that we might be snapping back to reality here. Well, they gave us a turn off. That bodes well. What does contact-free delivery mean? That sounds like an oxymoron, so can someone please explain it to me? What does contact-free delivery entail? And why is that not nonsense? It doesn't mean anything. They just leave it on your porch. They still touched it. Sure. Okay. That's what it means. Sure. I feel like contact-free delivery is a deceptive description in order to make people feel safe about something that it protects drivers from you getting them sick. Yeah, that's what it does. It protects the driver, it doesn't protect you. You're not wrong. You know what else would protect the driver? If they were able to stay home because the government stepped up and took care of people like they need to. That would probably protect the driver even more. Hush now, that's socialism. You're not wrong. Yeah, when Christy and I eventually need to get food in a couple of weeks, we're gonna do order for pickup, where they just like push a cart out to you and you pick it up. Okay, so people in chat that are coming in partway, you're missing the key context to this discussion, which I'm not saying that people should never leave their house. I'm saying people ordering individual meals for takeout, that's unnecessary. Obviously, people need food to eat, and they need things that they need to survive. What I am advocating for is stop getting takeout, you lazy millennials. That's what I'm advocating for. So, as someone who before all of this used to eat probably double digits worth of takeout meals per week, I feel for you, but you can do it. I believe in you. Jeff reveals himself for the true boomer he is. I wonder if the stock market will be agile enough to make dynamic improvements to increase the tempo in a consumer-friendly way, to bounce back. Listen, chat, I'm eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly and potato chips. You can too. Cooking in crock pots is super easy. The Scapeshift animation is very good. Yeah, just because you're not eating takeout doesn't mean you have to eat healthy, chat. Potato chips, candy bars, frozen ice cream. Yeah, Trump's a boomer. Trump's a boomer who other boomers resonate with. And when you're a boomer, it's hard for you to understand facts if the facts don't directly impact your life. So, Trump having cases at Mar-a-Lago snapping him to reality doesn't surprise me. That is a peak boomer thing to do for him. All right, do I get another turn? Find out next time on this episode of Dragon Ball Z. Holy gosh, we got a turn, chat. That's exciting. Are they dead to Scapeshift? All right, well now they're dead to Scapeshift, right? Whee! We did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray! I think this is too slow here. These sword twos might not be necessary in the main. I don't know that we need extra ramp with it. I think I want to slow down a little bit and be a little bit more interactive. I know we successfully raced them that game, but I think on average, they're going to be a little bit faster than we are. So I'd like to slow down a little bit. I think we found the card to replace the frogs with in Abzan. Scapeshift? Yeah, Scapeshift would, it seems. I think if you're playing Dread Presence, Dryad, and you don't have Scapeshift, you're probably doing it wrong. At least a couple. I don't think you need 4 by any means, but... Easy mulligan. Easy keep. I'm gonna bottom that actually. Keep my 2 return to natures. I'm gonna bottom a 3rd piece of interaction for now and dig for something that lets me advance my game plan. Ozymandias, King of the Kings. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. On Abzan, Gitrog list, run Thalia. So, Ozymandias, if you check out my website or my YouTube channel, you can find a video up there of us playing the Abzan frog list from yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. And you can find the exact deck list in the video description. How about we toss back in an Abzan frog, Sands the frog with Cav and Scapeshift. Sounds good. Abzan field. Abzan Scapeshift field sounds great, war game. I think if that's something you want to do, that's fine, Windswept Heath. Like, you're basically just choosing to hedge a different matchup than I'd be choosing to hedge. That one. Get it out of here. Now, it is worth noting here that they're up to 4 cards in their bin now, so they need 2 more in there for Uro. Also worth noting, this can exile Uro from their graveyard potentially if we need to. Which, this game's actually not going super well for us. Like, I have minimal pressure in play, and I'm mostly out of resources here, and they have a lot of resources left. So good chance they run away with this here. Well, I'm missing a 6 land for Citadel, right? Like, we just got a bunch of Dryads here and nothing to do with them. Can you exile Uro in response to escaping them and coming back? You cannot. So when you escape a card, it's immediately put from the graveyard onto the stack as part of casting it. Scapeshift too slow for any other format currently. I believe Scapeshift is competitive in Modern still. Scapeshift is, no, it's legal in Pioneer, but like there's probably too many moving pieces there. In Modern, you get to play Valakut with it, which is real good. So they have a guaranteed Uro next turn, which is unfortunate. The 6th land does open me up. Oh, you know what? I should have held that in case I draw Dread Presence. Like, I have plenty of land drops here. I was thinking I want to play it out so I have max land drops if I peel a Citadel, but with 3 extra land drops, that's really not a big deal. So I should have held it in the event I peel Dread Presence. Immediately punished. Does Grazer still have a borderless option, right? Asking the real questions. We could have potentially drawn like 3 or 4 cards here if there were a bunch of lands on top of our deck with these, if I would have held this swamp. Am I dead? Low probability we get another turn here.
To the library.
I think if you think you need Dryad for mana fixing, your mana base probably isn't built correctly. So we have Thassa's intervention here. I mean, it's not really Tamiyo that's making Nexus good, it's the Scard. Making Quarantinis. That's a good one. If they take a turn here, I'm going to concede. So I would have done all this last turn had I held the land. Scapeshift. Whoa, 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 do, do, do. I believe I'm on a land drops, right? Yeah, so I probably would have won this game if I had held the land appropriately. I think I'm going to trim my Grazer and leave all my Citadels in. Just be a little bit more interactive. Get a good example of like little decisions and knowing what we're playing to and what our outs are. Lining up and mattering a lot. How many lands does deck play? 27. Two of them cycle, though. Never forget, chat, the shuffler's as rigged as the earth is flat. So, like, there's two types of people in the world. There's people who will look at that thing there and go like, oh, we had, you know, 7 lands in a row, woe is us. Or you can look at that and go, oh, I messed up, that loss is on me. And one of those mindsets is going to help you get better at Magic, and the other really isn't. Remorse exiling Nexus. Speaking of Magic invariants, Rig Shuffler. Kept a 3-lander in my 27 land deck. Missed my 4th every time. Every time. So doing this now gives them an extra land, but it means they don't get to Insight this turn, so I think that trade-off is good. Doing this now also means that if I draw an untapped land, I get to Dread Presence next turn, which is ideal. Because ideally, I'm going to draw land, and then go Dread Presence, he says as he bricks again in his 27 land deck. Now, I think we probably would have powered through that land pocket if I hadn't made the mistake. Because we would have hit the land pocket a turn sooner and then plowed through it the following turn. Which would have been a big deal. Alright, fingers crossed we get another turn. We'll want to attack in our sit down before we start drawing cards next turn, because ideally we're going to draw a land in our 27 land deck. Okay. It's likely a keyword that is set specific. It is. Which is why you hardly ever see it. It's been a while since they've done a cycling set. Gosh. Do I just take a second Nexus here? Like, it's gonna suck to get Thassa's intervention, but like I have double Dread Presence. I think I just take a second Nexus. Cat wasn't that long ago. You're showing your age. Cat was like 3 years ago, right? 3, 4 years? It's a while. It's a while, chat. I feel like Onslaught wasn't that long ago. Lol. Wonder if we'll see them do this. We might just see them. Thassa's intervention for infinite here. They have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, just like actual dig through time. We were really unfortunate hitting land drops here. Like, if we would have just hit 2 lands there, we could have Agonizing Remorse after. Been set up pretty well. Alright, we took 2 of their 4 Nexus away. My body is ready to never get another turn, huh?
Let me aid your research.
Feels magic, man. I got so excited when the Tamiyo missed. If they take another turn here, I'm gonna concede. I'm gonna give him 1 shot to miss. Yeah, as always, like, the losing part of playing against Nexus isn't the bad part.
I have learned much from my ancestors.
It's the uncertainty, the waiting. The casual intervention for 12. They only have 2 Nexus and 34 cards. What are their odds? What are the odds they hit here? They are 59% to find the Nexus of Fate here. Alright, let's try one more. I like to end on a high note. What if they found both? Lol. So, punted the second game in that set. Third game got a little bit unlucky. Important to remember that if I don't mess up the second game, there's not a third game to get unlucky in. Focus on the things you can control, not the ones where you hit variance that's outside of your control. Just how it goes. Yeah, I agree, Cody. Like, for as long as we stumbled there, like, I'm surprised we're as far into it as we were for how much we stumbled. At least this isn't as bad as, like, when you miss your third land, your third or fourth land in your 31 land Yarok field deck. I mean, every format of Magic has things in it that you're not going to like. One of the things you really need to understand about Magic, and I think Morrow really hit this on the head, the things that you hate about Magic are the same things that other people love about Magic, and it's the reason that they play. So, like, not every match of this format is against Nexus of Fate, he says before he cues into Nexus of Fate for a second time. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! What have I done? What have I done? Thanks for the 10-month sack. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I mean, this matchup doesn't actually seem that bad for us. Like, we have a combo that can race them, and we have a bunch of really good interaction. It's like, if I play better and get a little bit less unlucky, we're probably going to be fine. Also, yeah, can we take a moment to point out our opponent's name Desurious Big and they're playing blue-green combo? Well, Wellborn, I hope you're well. Yeah, I didn't take the Azcanta because the rest of their hand made it incredibly likely that they were going to be able to find a land regardless. And then the Reclamation I don't have a way to interact with game one, and that's a card that just generates massive amounts of mana for them. That's possible, Skamos, because like most of the words that come out of Donald Trump's mouth when he said if you want a test, you can get a test, he was lying. That's how that's possible. Wait, the president would lie only when he's talking. Thanks for the 15 months at that, Paradise. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Feels standard, man. Feels standard. He lies when he tweets as well. That's fair. So they've got 3 cards in their bin, including the Uros, so a little bit away from that. Well, I mean, as far as like non-land draws go, that one's towards the top. Although I was hoping to hit a land in my 27 land deck there so I could draw a card. I think that was them reading Citadel. Card hasn't seen a ton of play. It's a sweet one. Well, that was a very good one. Now, the one thing to note here, while this is tedious, as Nexus always is, we're not incredibly unlikely to get another turn, and if we do get a turn, Dryad, Dread Presence, Citadel means we're pretty likely to win. So we're definitely going to make them, like, get far more deterministic than they currently are. Until they have a Tameo or a Azcanta flipped over going, they're not super consistent to hit what they need every turn. So, like, even if they take another turn this turn, I'm still not conceding until this is flipped, and they're taking extra turns while this is flipped. And they're still only at 4 cards in their bin, so feeling pretty okay at the moment. Sure, yeah, and they're just playing another Azcanta to bin something here. Still can't even escape the Uro. So they have no cards in hand. We need to kill them here. I'm gonna pay 2 life here. And then they're dead, right? Scapeshift on top. Bye, Felicia. And again, like I said, we ran pretty cold in those post-board games. I think we're pretty okay in this matchup on average. We have a combo kill of our own. Are people having disconnects from Twitch? I guess if they hear me talking. Twitch is probably having a hiccup. Doesn't say I've dropped any frames. Had to reload. Okay. A nice combo deck can interest you in a combo that actually kills people. Yeah, so again, my plan here is like trim some of my acceleration and bring in a bunch of interaction, because I do think my opponent's deck is better at being a linear deck and just racing than ours is. So I want to like slow them down while we get set up. I don't think Brontodon is good. Like 4 mana to destroy. Maybe it is just I want all of them. Maybe I just cut all the Grazers. I don't know, 4 mana to kill their 4 mana thing, or like to kill their Search for Azcanta. It's like super not resource efficient. I don't know, let's give it a try and see how it feels. Does Dread Presence count lands that don't say swamp on them as actual swamps? It does if you have the Dryad in play that says all of your lands are all basic land types. That's the soft combo. The Dryad, Ilysian Dryad, makes all your lands all land types. So every land triggers your Dread Presence. Sure. Interaction. Scapeshift is half our combo. If we find a Dread Presence, we can kill them. Ooh, this can take an Azcanta before it gets down. So, have to take Tamiyo, right? Not close. Otherwise, she gets back whatever you take. What are your thoughts on Psycho Lands versus Passage in those decks? I mean, I think those cards do completely different things. I think Fabled Passage is something that helps fix your mana. I think Psycho Lands are a card that help you not flood out. So do I go after the Nexi, or do I just go after the Reclamations? Honestly, I think it makes sense to go after the Reclamations. What about Cycles versus Scries? I'm playing a mix right now. They're cards that are slightly better in slightly different situations, and I genuinely don't know which is ideal and which isn't. I could end up being right to playing a mix, so like Temples are better as your early land drops to help you fix, but then Cycle lands are better late when you don't want to land anymore. I think I'm keeping that just because I want to get to Bolas, Citadel, and Scapeshift. Yeah, Scrylands are mana fixing, which is really important. Drawing hot this game. We're drawing okay. Like, I would have ideally hit a swamp for this by now if we were drawing hot. Like, we have a lot of disruption, but like disrupting the Nexus deck endlessly doesn't actually let you win the game. You need to actually kill them at some point. Interesting they put this to 2. I guess they just wanted to borrow this turn real bad. This deck's been fun. Like most of the historic decks, it's been a good time. Even the matches we've been losing have been amusing. Do we have enough swamps to kill them on Scapeshift? Yeah, I have like 13 swamps. You need more lands, obviously. But yeah, if I have enough lands, I could deal 9 here. I think there's 8 or 9 swamps plus 4 Overgrown Tombs. With Bolas' Citadel in hand, I'm going to be conservative with my life total here. No reason to shock that in to hold this up, I don't think. What other decks did you miss today? We played Vanafear combo in Historic. We scrubbed out with Green-White Adventures in Standard. Standard continues to be a dumpster fire. And then we had an okay run with Green-Black Midrange and Pioneer. Vest Jagger, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Ooh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so that's lethal, right? Blast Zone kills the Dryad. It doesn't kill the Dread Presence. I have enough swamps. We just talked about our swamp count. You're the bigliest best swamp counts, chat. Nobody has swamp counts like me. Triggers. I'm just gonna go with Vest. Huh. So, I had low, like, and this is why Historic's been fun, because I feel like I've been saying this a lot. I had low expectations going into this deck. I really wasn't expecting it to do a whole lot, and I walked away pleasantly surprised. I feel like my one big takeaway was that Wayward Swordtooth didn't feel particularly good, and I think I'd cut that. And I think you could make an argument for Maelstrom Pulse being in the main deck, but I also think there's probably an argument for just playing Jadelight Ranger. Like, our deck has a really high land count, and, like, this is another piece of, like, pseudo card selection that can, like, help us dig to our key combo pieces past Bonds of Flourishing. And I feel like I didn't need as much ramp as we had. Like, we have 12 pieces of ramp still. I feel like I'd want to try, like, 3 Jadelight Ranger here in the main next time. It's probably somewhat reasonable. Jadelight probably also makes the Gruul matchup a little bit better because it's a meaningful blocker against a lot of their things if it gets even 1/1/1/1 counter on it. The other thought I have here as far as the sideboard is concerned is Disfigure really sucks against Gruul, and that felt like our hardest matchup. So I think I would trade those out for a couple of cast downs. You could also play Noxious Grasp if you really want to target Gruul, but Noxious Grasp notably doesn't get to come in against mono red, which is kind of what I had the Disfigures in the board for. So I think for the sake of having more cards against mono red, I would want cast downs to hedge Gruul, so I'm not just like cutting cards that could come in against red. Everything else, other small things you could do is Agonizing Remorse you could replace in the main deck. Like, you could put these in the board, and you could put, like, 2 trophies, 2 pulse main, or, like, 2 cast down, 2 trophies main. If you really want to hedge the aggressive decks, you could make that swap as well. You could put the whole Explore package in. I don't know if I'm super into that. I think accelerating is really meaningful. I think Arboreal Grazer especially is just really good in decks like this. Like, having Grazer gives you, like, really powerful nut draws. Like, being able to go Grazer on 1 into Dryad on 2, play a land, like, get Dread Presence or Citadel going on, like, 4 is, like, a big deal, I think. Grazer isn't foil. That's true. That's true. Getting a borderless option. I feel like Dryad has earned its borderless after today. I didn't border this one last time we played because I didn't think we were going to play it a ton, but I feel like this is a deck we're going to play a bunch of. And Dryad sounds good. Would Ashiok be good in the sideboard against Dirtily Field decks? I mean, it would be good there, but I'm not really sure you need the help because, like, we kind of raced them okay. Both Scapeshift and Bolas Citadel kind of allow us to go over the top of Field of the Dead decks in a way, which is kind of sweet. It really feels like Field of the Dead was a great addition to this format. It feels like there's ways to get under it. There's other big kind of combo flashy style things to go further over the top of it. Really enjoying exploring. I'm going to end a little bit early today. I didn't prep a third Historic deck, which I should probably start doing moving forward. I think my plans are to I plan to run long at least one day this week, so I think Friday's probably going to be my run long day. We're going to skip doing Standard on Friday, and we're just going to do a Pioneer deck into a bunch of Historic and play through a bunch of it. At any rate, remember, if you're looking for more content from myself, you can check out my website and my YouTube channel, magicesports.net or Jeff Hoagland. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Shout out to all my new subs and resubs. As always, I wouldn't be here without the support of all of you. And everybody stay safe out there in this crazy world. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, washing your hands, staying inside unless you absolutely need to go out for something. These folks are great. Buy their stuff. I'm going to hit one more ad roll on my way out the door so I can meet my quota for the day. And see you tomorrow, folks. Citadel run back. Thank you for all your absurd biddies this year, Wargy. I'll get those granted here momentarily. Peace, folks.